Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you guys? I hope you always in health and good condition. We are from Group 3. We want to explain about learning components. Firstly, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Tasya Fadila. My friend is Agnia Yasmin and Salma Hayatun Nufus. Today we are going to explain about component of instruction, the relationship between component of instruction, instructional objective, instructional materials, instructional strategy and method, types of learning strategies and models, criteria for using learning strategies, and learning media.
In the whole educational process, according to Undang-Undang Nomor 20 Tahun 2003 tentang Sistem Pendidikan Nasional, instructional is a process of interaction between students and educators, also learning resources in a learning environment. Basically, the instructional process include two main activities, which are learning and teaching. The main point of the instructional or the main characteristic is interaction. There are interaction between students and the other students, interaction between students and educators, interaction between students and the learning resources, and etc. And the other main characteristic is that because instruction is a system, just like the curriculum, instruction is a system, which means they are consist of components. Well, the component of instruction is things that are interconnected with each other, which is very important in the teaching and learning process, or what we call as instructional. The component of instruction include objectives, strategy or method, evaluation, the material, and media. The component of instruction has a relationship. Just like I said earlier, each component is interconnected with each other. You can see from the slide there is a picture or diagram, but I'm very sorry, this diagram is not the best interpretation of the relationship between each component. There are some mistakes in the arrow. But what can I say is that each component is influence each other. Each component is interacting with each other. Just like in example, when we want to decide the instructional material, we have of course to consider and refer the objective, and then how the deliver of the material will be decided by the strategy or the method, and will be supported by the media. So that's why each component is depend on each other. Each component is depend on each other. Next, I will explain about one of the instructional component, which is the instructional objective. The instructional objective is targets or things that needed to be achieved by the instructional process. The instructional objective has a hierarchy which consists of objective, and the objective that placed on the first place or in the highest hierarchy is the national education objective. The national education objective is a long-term objective and is based on the nation philosophy, which in our case is Pancasila. Our national education objective is stated in Undang-Undang Nomor 20 Tahun 2003 tentang Sistem Pendidikan Nasional. Below the national education objective, or in the second place, there is institutional objective. An institutional objective is an objective that needed or wanted to be achieved by each school or education institute. So each school or each institute got their own objective based on the characteristic of the school or institute, but of course still consider or refer to the national education objective. This objective, I think we can see it from the standard competency lulusan from each institute, like the SMK objective of course would be different from the SMA objective. And then below the institutional objective, or in the third place in the hierarchy, there is a curricula objective. Curricular objective is an explanation from the institutional objective. This objective include objective from each subject, and this objective we can see it from GBPP or garis-garis besar program pembelajaran from each subject. So the accumulation from each curricular objective is made up of what we call as institutional objective. In the fourth place, there is a general instructional objective. This objective is still general and haven't described more specific behavior. The action verb in this objective is still cannot be measured. Is still like abstract. So like for example is like memahami, mengerti, and etc. And this objective we can see it from tujuan setiap pokok bahasan from each subject. So and then in the last place, or in the tempat terbawah in the hierarchy, there is a specific instructional objective. This objective is an explanation from the general one. This objective is made by the teacher with the purpose that this behavior, the behavior in this objective can be measured. So of course the action verb in this objective can be measured, different with the general one. Like for example, the verb on this objective is like differentiate, classify, organize. This objective is what we learn from the science and teaching learning course. To make it easier, to make teacher easier to make this objective, there is a perumusan, and this perumusan consists of 4 components, which consist of A, B, C, D. A is stand for audience, B is stands for behavior, C is stand for condition, and D stands for degree. The audience of course is the student, and the behavior is a specific behavior that expected to student to have it, and the condition is something that needed to be done by the students to achieve the behavior, and the degree is like a minimum standard of it.
Next, we have instructional material. Instructional materials are basically content. Content of the curriculum, which is in the form of subject, which topic or subtopic in details. The content of learning materials consists of 6 categories. First is facts. Of course, in learning material, we have to concern about validation the knowledge. Next is concept or theory. We need to theory behind that before we do the learning material. Next is principle. Principle can make the learning material is more neatly and also process. Lastly is value and skills. Next, instructional strategy and method. Instructional strategy is plan consists of a series of activities that must be done by teachers and students so that learning objective can be achieved effectively and efficiently if student and teacher collaborate together. The factors that influence learning strategy are objectives, materials, student, facilities, time, and the important thing is teacher. Instructional method is a method used by teachers to implement plans that have been prepared in the form of practical activities to achieve the learning objective.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Salma Hayatun Nufus. Here I will explain about types of learning strategy and method. The first is classical expository strategy. Here, the teacher explains more and student revise more material. This strategy occurs when large number of students, time is limited, learning resources are limited, and media are not available. If this strategy done, it is recommended the teacher understand the material and can explain it clearly. The second is question and answer method. This method is for increasing student level of thinking. Determine the level of cognitive ability of student. According to Donald C. Orlick, question can be categorized into three: convergent, divergent, evaluate. Convergent focus on goals that are more limited or more direct to answer. Divergent direct at student varied response to teacher question. Each student can respond differently from the other. Evaluate is a divergent question that is added to evaluate based on criteria. The third is heuristic strategy. There are two strategies, discovery and inquiry. Discovery is a mental process where individuals assimilate concepts and principles. Inquiry contains mental processes that are higher in level than discovery. The fourth is group teaching. Form of teaching can occur during group work and group discussion. Group work, students are given the task to do things as a group. Group discussion, the process at brainstorming among participants by the method of student discussion. And the last, individual teaching. This teaching aims to provide opportunities for students to progress at their own pace. Next, we move to criteria for using learning strategy. So in here has a high level of epistemological relevance, has a level psychology relevance, provide opportunity for students to participate optimally, and has a high level of efficiency and effectiveness. The last is learning material. Learning material can be divided into 5. The first is visual. The media can only be seen by using the sense of sight. The media is usually used by the teacher to deliver material or lesson. The second is audio. Media containing auditive message or only can be heard. This media can only be used for those who already have the ability to think abstract. The third is audiovisual. This media is a combination of visual and audio. With this media, student teaching material will be complete and optimal. The fourth is media groups. Donald T. Tosti and John R. Ball organize the grouping of media into 7 media group of presenters. And the last is objective and interactive media.
That's all from our group. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.